Hi, gamers. You know how I like to hunt in the open world? I didn't realize that this was part of the Horizons expansion. So I asked Gemini, because Gemini's really good at researching stuff. And well, let's see here with Gemini. I forgot how to get Gemini to talk. I asked him what are awakened mobs in Albion Online. Why can't I listen?
In Albion Online, awakened mobs refer to standard open-world mobs, from Tier 5 upwards, that have received incremental power boosts over time. This mechanic was introduced in the Horizons update to address the increasing power of players, ensuring that open-world PvE content remained challenging and rewarding. Here's a breakdown of what you need to know about awakened mobs. How they become awakened. Time-based power increase. As regular open-world mobs remain alive, their power gradually increases.
That's
Tier
cool.
dependence. The power boost is more significant for higher-tier mobs. For example, Tier 5 mobs receive a smaller initial boost compared to Tier 8 mobs, which receive a more substantial increase. Not universal. This power increase does not apply to all types of enemies. Specifically, it excludes Avalonians in the Roads of Avalon, tracking targets, demons in Hellgates and corrupted dungeons, elite enemies in randomized dungeons and world boss areas, territory guards. Difficulty. Awakened mobs are significantly tougher to defeat than their non-awakened counterparts due to their increased stats, including damage and health. The
That
longer a
makes
mob
sense.
remains alive, the more challenging it becomes.
See, the longer it remains alive, the more
Rewards. To
challenging.
compensate for the increased difficulty, awakened mobs offer scaled-up rewards. This includes fame. You'll earn more fame for defeating awakened mobs. Loot. The quality and quantity of loot dropped by awakened mobs are improved. Silver. Awakened mobs yield more silver upon defeat. This scaling reward system encourages players to venture into less explored zones where mobs might have been alive longer and thus become
Hmm.
more awakened,
That's why I
offering
like
potentially
hunting.
greater riches. In
They're
essence,
fun.
awakened mobs are a dynamic element in the open world of Albion Online, providing an ever-increasing challenge and better rewards for players who encounter and defeat them. This system incentivizes exploration and makes even familiar zones potentially more dangerous and profitable over time.
Pretty cool, huh? Now I want to ask it, what is the nameless hero in Albion Online? I mean, the mob named that. Sometimes Gemini gets a little specific. Spike Boss. Ooh, let's hear about this. This sounds interesting. Are you gonna talk or what?
Ah, you're right. There is indeed a specific mob in Albion Online named the Nameless Hero. My apologies for the initial misunderstanding. The Nameless
Silly
Hero is a
Gemini.
type of spike boss
Spike
found in the
Boss.
open world. These are essentially high-fame, single-target mobs that are valuable for players looking to quickly increase their combat fame.
They're nice.
Here's what we know about the Nameless Hero mob. Type: Spike Boss. Location: they can spawn in various open-world zones, particularly in higher-tier areas, Tier 6 and above. Their appearance isn't fixed to a single location, so you'll need to explore to find them.
Okay.
Difficulty: they are significantly stronger than regular open-world mobs of the same tier and
They're
possess
awesome.
unique abilities that can make them challenging to solo, especially with lower-tier gear or without proper tactics. Rewards: defeating a nameless hero grants a substantial amount of combat fame. The exact amount scales with the tier of the nameless hero. They also drop silver and have a chance to drop loot, although the fame reward is the primary draw.
And it's nice.
Appearance. They have a distinct appearance that sets them apart from regular mobs, often with a more imposing model or unique visual effects. They also have a specific name tag, Nameless Hero, above their health bar. Strategy. Successfully taking down a nameless hero often involves understanding their attack patterns and using appropriate combat strategies, such as dodging key abilities and utilizing consumables. Some players even specialize in hunting these bosses for efficient fame farming.
That would be me.
So, when players refer to the nameless hero in the context of a mob, they are talking about this specific, high-value target in the open world. Thanks for clarifying.
I love these high value targets. I have more fun. I call them glowies and I call these the elites. But now I know what they're really called. They're spike bosses. That's cool. That's really cool. Man, I make it a game just to hunt these things. And that last video I uploaded where it says 67,656 fame, whatever it was, I found that in a tier 4 area. And I'm sure it was dropping newbies left and right. So he must have been there all day. And nobody could kill him, apparently. Because, man, that's the highest fame one I've ever killed. Which means he's been out there a while just playing Mr. Bad Butt. And, man, I almost had a heart attack when I ran on him. That was just out of pure joy. That's cool. I'm going to ask him a few more questions because this video is just to educate, people that watch my channel. And I knew there was something to these things. Why I loved hunting them, and they're actually part of the design for the open world hunters. Because see, I like hunting. I like hunting single high fame targets. I wish they put more stuff like this in the game. And yeah, overall, you can make more fame just killing masses of mobs which I do both. I mean, I kill the mobs as I traverse through the terrain. That's what you do. You don't waste any time. But anyway, I don't know what else to ask now. I want to ask him what type of open world mobs are there for a T5 geared solo player in Albion Online? Gemini's pretty freaking smart. Dang, he's got a lot to say about this one. Sometimes it's hard to get him to talk. There he goes.
As a Tier 5 geared solo player in Albion Online, you have a decent range of open world mobs that you can effectively farm for fame and loot.
Yeah!
Here's a breakdown of the types of mobs you'll encounter and what to consider. Viable open world mob tiers. Tier 5 mobs. These will generally be quite manageable with Tier 5 gear. You should be able to take on most single mobs and smaller groups without significant difficulty, depending on your build. Tier 6 mobs. You can likely handle Tier 6 mobs solo, but they will pose a greater challenge than Tier 5. Be prepared for longer fights and potentially needing to use consumables or kite enemies. Larger groups of Tier 6 mobs might be risky. Lower tier awakened mobs, Tier 5, as mentioned before, mobs gain power over time.
I love them.
A Tier 5 mob that has been alive for a while, awakened, will be tougher than a newly spawned one. Pay attention to how long mobs have been in an area. Specific mob factions. The difficulty can also vary between different mob factions: heretics, disciples of Morgana, keepers of Albion, the undead. Some factions might have attack patterns or abilities that are more challenging for certain builds. Types of open world mobs you'll encounter. Standard wildlife. These are often the easiest to deal with and include creatures like boars, wolves, and birds. They usually have straightforward attack patterns. Humanoid enemies, by faction. These mobs often have more complex abilities, such as spells, stuns, or area of effect attacks.
Hmm.
Understanding the specific faction's abilities is key. For example, heretics often use fire-based
Oh,
attacks.
okay.
Morgana can have magical projectiles and summons.
That's true.
Keepers may have strong melee attacks and earth-based magic.
Okay.
The
Big
undead
barbarians.
can include skeleton archers, mages with frost spells, and melee
Love the
warriors.
undead.
Elementals, found in specific biomes, these can have unique elemental attacks, e.g., fire, ice.
Hmm.
Spike bosses, like the Nameless Hero,
Love
while
them.
they offer high fame, these are significantly tougher single targets and might be challenging to solo in flat tier 5 gear without a specialized build or more experience. Approach with
I use
caution.
tier
Tips for solo
5.4.
PvE with tier 5 gear. Choose the right build. Some builds are much better suited for solo PvE than others. Look for builds with good sustain, self-healing or shielding, decent damage output, and some mobility for kiting if needed. Popular solo PvE weapon lines include Nature Staff, Battle Axe, and some Fire Staff builds.
Okay.
Utilize consumables, potions, healing, resistance, and food for increased damage or health, can significantly improve your survivability and kill speed.
Okay.
Practice mob mechanics. Learning the attack patterns of different mobs will help you dodge telegraphed abilities and avoid unnecessary damage. Start in lower tier zones. If you're new to soloing or a particular build, start in tier 5 zones to get comfortable before venturing into tier 6. Be aware of your surroundings. Open world zones can have other players, including gankers. Stay vigilant and consider running if you encounter hostile players. Consider yellow zones. If you want to avoid full loot PvP while fame farming, yellow zones offer a safer environment, although the fame and loot might be slightly lower than in red or black zones. In
Slightly
summary, as a
lower.
Tier 5 solo player, you'll find plenty of viable PvE content in Tier 5 and even some Tier 6 open world zones. Focus on refining your build, understanding mob mechanics, and utilizing consumables to maximize your efficiency and safety.
Sweet. So that's good. I love that. Now I know why I always hunt my glowies. And then those spike bosses. I have a hard time remembering what stuff's called in here. So I'm gonna go to a tier 6 zone and see if I can't find some spike bosses. Awesome. All right. Oh, did I have any other questions? Oh, yes. Okay, what did I just ask him? Okay, I asked him what type of open world mobs are there for a tier 5 geared solo player in Albion Online. Okay. And also at this tier level, what is the best way to make silver in this game? See what he says. You got to realize Gemini can read millions of articles if they're available in seconds. He can read entire books in just seconds and then summarize it and give it to you. I mean, Gemini is awesome. If you ain't using Gemini, you're missing out because it's like he can read an entire library of books and then give you a book report on it faster than you can blink your eyes. It's amazing. So let's see what he's got to say about solo because I love solo. I try to get into PvP, but oh my gosh, I don't know why it just annoys the crap out of me. And it doesn't seem profitable. Oh, you loot somebody's gear. Whoopee! I feel like a bully. I don't know why I can't. I know say, don't worry about your mindset, blah, blah, blah. Just get in there and kill. No, there's people that go in there that hope nobody attacks them. I mean, I'm one of those kind of people. And then here comes the ganker. Ew. Blink, 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 blink. You can't get in a mindset when you're a gatherer and you're in there trying to gather stuff, and then some a-hole comes along to kill you just to get a kill or whatever, so just to have fun. that's one-sided fun. It's one-sided fun. Half the time they're in gathering gear, which gives you no attack abilities. Just run like a little coward for your life. Oh, look how fun this is. I'm running to flee for my life. That is not fun. I'm sorry. It's just not fun being a gatherer and running for your life to save the crap that you just spent an hour or two gathering. I mean, that mindset is just whacked. It's just whacked. Anyway, I'm not I'm not gonna complain on it, but it is whacked. It's whacked. This game is not about honor and nobility. That's for dang sure. Unless you're in the yellow zone, specifically hunting reds, people that have gone hostile. Now that's kind of fun, because then you could play good guy versus bad guy, and I do like that. That's kind of fun, But most people are solo players. Are in there gathering, doing their own thing. And they just want gangers leave them alone. I walk up on people all the time, and I'm not red. I mean, you've seen some of my videos where I go up where it instantly turns you red, and I just walk up to them, see if they're going to attack me, and they'll just stand there, and then I'm like, okay, they ain't attacking, so I go to killing mobs. I try not to attack them. And 9 times out of 10, they flee. Because they don't know who you are. Like especially in the mist, what does it say? A mysterious stranger. They don't know who you are. You can't examine each other, which is kind of cool. I like that. I'm not against PvP. I'm just saying it has its time and places, and most gatherers find it extremely annoying. And I don't know anybody that enjoys running for their life. I hate fleeing from a fight. I'd almost rather just fight and die. And that's honor right there. Because when I was younger, I was trained in sword fighting. And I was trained in Togakuru style ninjutsu, actually. And it's, even though it's the art of assassination, we had honor. And I just have that ingrained in my mind. Like, we fight to the death, regardless. And running from an enemy in this game is just, it just like rubs me raw every time. I'm like, I wish this game was more skill based than stat based. Then it's like, it doesn't matter what you're wearing. If you had better dexterity and skill and could outthink your opponent and get all your combat elements together, then it wouldn't matter what they were wearing. You could kill them. But the game's not like that. So you got to face the realities of the actual game mechanics and adapt. But fleeing for your life is not, that's like bottom of my list. Not high. But it's an unnecessary evil because I hate the fact that they can examine you and go, based on the numbers, I'm going to kill this guy. Nine times out of 10, especially if they're skilled with their outfit and they know how to play. If they know how to perform their attacks, stack their stuff, and dodge, kite, whatever, all those things, they know they're going to be able to defeat you right off the bat because it's not what I call real skill. It's stat based. And stat based games they're stat based games. There's skill, don't get me wrong. There is skill in timing and maneuvering and all that. I'm not saying there's no skill in the base. I'm just saying that you're at a severe disadvantage if they outstat you. You get two guys cloned that are equal in their abilities to fight. The higher statted guy or person is going to kill the lower statted every time because it's stat based. Numbers matter. So anyway, I'm getting off that. I think you understand what I'm saying. I'm not for sure. I don't even know if I know what I'm trying to say. I just don't know if I'm saying it right. Anyway, it's late in the evening again, and I took a freaking nap when I got home, so I wouldn't be so zombie brained. But anyway, let's get to work. I've talked way long enough. Well, I forgot to hear what he had to say. Yeah, Yeah, I got off on a rant. Now his speech is bugged. You have to do it twice. On my mobile, he doesn't.
As a Tier 5 geared solo player in Albion Online, several avenues can lead to making a decent amount of silver. Here are some of the most effective methods at your gear level. 1. Soloing Tier 5 and some Tier 6 open world mobs. Focus on efficiency. Choose a build that clears mobs quickly and efficiently. Some popular solo PvE builds utilize weapons like the Nature Staff, for healing and damage over time, Battle Axe, for AoE damage and sustain, or specific Fire Staff builds. Farm high density areas. Look for zones with a high concentration of mobs of the appropriate tier. Tier 6 zones generally offer more fame and loot per mob than Tier 5, but be prepared for a tougher challenge. Utilize loot bonuses. Consider flagging for a Royal City faction in zones near that city to gain a faction-flagged loot bonus. Be aware that this makes you targetable by the opposing
Which is
faction.
fun.
Sell loot and resources. Gather all the loot from the mobs you kill and sell it on the marketplace. Resources dropped by mobs, like hides or mob-specific items, can also be sold. Refine resources. If you have gathering skills leveled, consider gathering the raw resources that drop from the mobs and refining them into more valuable materials with your focus. 2. Solo random dungeons, Tier 4 to 5. Accessibility. Tier 4 and 5 solo dungeons are readily available in most zones. Consistent loot. They offer a relatively
The tier 4 and 5 solo dungeons used to be good, so evidently Gemini's pulling from old data where he doesn't realize it's been nerfed. I've done all the tier 4, 5 solo dungeons, and the loot sucks and the silver rewards suck. The fame ain't even that good. The solo dungeons are crap right now. I've done a couple of videos and they suck. They just suck. Anyway, let him talk.
consistent source of silver and loot, including gear, runes, and relics. Relatively safe. Solo dungeons are instanced, so you don't have to worry about other players unless they happen to enter the same dungeon at a similar time. Efficiency. Clear the dungeons quickly and efficiently to maximize your silver per hour.
Yeah, scratch the solo dungeons. I haven't had any luck. Truthfully, I have I have better luck doing open world. Yeah, open world fame farming and just I do all the gathering and stuff, but I'm the highest level in hunting leather because you get fame, you get combat fame, and your leather fame increase or whatever on your destiny board. But I do them all. I carry all my tools. Like I do them all. But I love hunting and killing. So I'm like level 50 something in my hide hide refining or gathering, whatever it's called. But I recommend doing them all. Some people say, "Oh, you should just focalize on one or two." I'm like, no, that's bullshit. You should try to get them all up there because you're gonna need them all. If you want to be self-sufficient in this game and you want to be able to craft your own crap and go out and get all your stuff, you need to get them all up there. It's just unless you just want to buy everything off the market all the time, which I do buy a lot of stuff off the market, but when you're starting off a low level, unless you're gonna swipe, it's gonna take you forever. Or you're in a big guild, but this game is not really solo friendly. I think they've I think they're starting to recognize it, but most players, like, I grew up on solo games and I just love solo games. It's fun being in a group, but being in a group can waste all your playtime. If you're like me and you only got like 2 or 3 hours max in the evenings after you get off work and get all your crap done and you want to sit down and relax 2 or 3 hours before you go to bed, you ain't got time to sit there and get a party together and then put up with their BS and then have them bail on you halfway through an instance. I got a log, guy. Sorry, you ain't even halfway to your goal. And groups are a pain in the ass. They really are. Unless you got a really good group and they're dedicated, blah, blah. And they're just a pain in the ass. I'd rather go in there and solo and just do my own thing. And that's where the game's kind of annoying because I hunt high fame targets and but they've got a lot of crap in the open world where it's group only. You ain't gonna kill it solo. They're way too powerful, they're fast, and they'll drop you faster than a bag of flour. They just really will. So I wish they would focus more on solo stuff. Anyway, I get off that rant. So let's let him continue talking.
3. Gathering. Tier 5
Gathering's
resources.
good.
Choose a profitable resource. Research the market prices for different Tier 5 resources: fiber, hide, ore, wood, stone. Hide often
I'd say stone is the least profitable. Been my experience.
tends to be quite valuable. Use gathering gear. Invest in a full set of Tier 5 gathering gear for your chosen resource to increase your yield.
I argue on that one. The most I've ever gotten from any gear item, Avalonian tools, if you've got premium, you're gonna average +2 for a bonus. Sometimes you get +3. I don't wear gathering gear, and because the yield isn't any higher for me. I've got full Avalonian tools. I've got premium. I wear my combat gear because, like I said, I'm a hunter. So I want my combat fame. You can only level up what you're wearing. Leveling up your gathering gear don't do shit for you. It doesn't do shit for you. It just don't. I've wasted I wasted a lot of time with gathering gear. And I do just as well. I could put my combat gear on, take my Avalonian tools, go into a tier 5, tier 6 area for an hour and hunt and gather. And then I can go in there with my tier 6 gathering gear for another hour and just use that. And it's about the same for me. I don't gain anything from the gathering gear. So I'm very skeptical about the gathering gear. Maybe starting out when you're really low spec, maybe it's beneficial. But in truth, if you got Avalonian tools and you are premium, I don't see the point in having the damn game. People argue with me, and I'm fine, it's an argument. You just go test it yourself. And if there is an increase, it ain't more than 5-10%. But my numbers were about even. So I like my method better because I'm getting combat fame to leather up my combat gear I'm wearing, where that fame would be wasted on gathering gear. Or it would be it will pull it up in the top. Like when you go on your destiny board, if the points aren't going into something, it will be pulled up there, and then you can disperse it manually. So I guess you're not really losing your combat fame in that respect, but I don't know. It might be going into your damn gathering gear, which I think is dumb. You can turn auto learn off. That's something I need to check into, but I'd rather just wear my combat gear, go in there, and I can kill the mobs a hell of a lot faster. I mean, yeah, I can kill the mobs a hell of a lot faster. So it's all about time. Like, might take me 5 times longer to kill it in my gathering gear, which that's time. And even if I gained a +1, whoo, or I can go over here, kill a mob 5 times faster. My yield's 5 times more, and I might be +7, +8, according to the time frame it takes me to gather all of it, versus wearing gathering gear and I don't know, killing the shit slower because, I don't know, it's just weird. This game has weird mechanics, but do what you want, but that's my 2 cents on it. But if you look at my videos, I am not wearing gathering gear, and I do just fine. I think I come out ahead actually, but that's just me. I'm no expert at this game by any means.
Gather in safe zones, yellow zones. While the profits might be slightly lower than in red or black zones, yellow zones offer a safe environment without full loot
Notice
PvP.
how he said slightly lower in profit. All the recent videos I've seen on Black Zone gathering and harvesting, outside of hunting in the mist, in a black zone mist, for the higher tier stuff. But as far the black zone areas, I heard they've been nerfed. So I don't know. I haven't personally done it yet because I can't even. I can only gather hide at tier 6. Everything else, I'm still stuck at tier 5. Takes forever to get your gathering crap up there in the Destiny board. But anyway, I think that's funny. I want to point that out.
Utilize gathering food and mounts. Pork pies increase your
Now
gathering
this
yield,
is true.
and a fast mount will help you travel between nodes and escape potential threats. Refine with focus. If you have premium, use your focus points to refine the gathered resources for a significant profit bonus.
Unless it's extremely expensive crap like point 4 stuff, don't waste your focus points on standard crap. Only time I use my focus points is on extremely expensive stuff. Like if I'm raising animals and I go buy the babies because I can't go to the high black zone areas for the baby drops, because I'm not in a group, mass mob fame farming and whatnot. I use my focus points on those and, nurture them or whatever to try to increase the chance they'll give me another baby. Even with the focus points, it's a tiny chance. It's like below 30% on most of the high end stuff. I think it's more like 10-15%. So it's questionable whether to spend it or not on raising animals, which is what I'm presently doing right now. But as far as crafting goes, like when I'm making a 5.4 and the point 4, like the 5.4 ore and the 5.4 wood, that stuff costs over 100K each. So you can easily tie up 6 to 9 million silver worth of ore and lumber and crap when you're crafting a full tier 5.4 set, even higher, even more expensive. Like you get up to tier 8.4. Oh yeah, you're looking at 100+ million silver per item, especially your weapon. Like I've got what is that thing? My blight staff. I got an 8.4 blight staff. That thing costs almost 200 million silver right now. It's like 157, 150. Is that right? No, it's at 57. Yeah, it's like 57 million. That's if you buy it off the market from somebody and get the stuff way, way cheaper and easier. If I buy the resources to craft it, it is going to cost me almost 100 million silver just to make one 8.4 blight staff because I have to buy the stuff off the market, which the resources are way more expensive to build it myself than to just buy from somebody else that can go out and get the stuff for free. So they're more apt to sell it cheaper to beat everybody else's, sales. And that's a big problem I found in this game. But that's the kind of stuff I say my focus. Because you only get so many, and I've noticed the higher tier level an item is, the more focus it requires. But the plus side is you might get a certain percentage of those materials back. That's what that means. When you use your focus for crafting, you will get, and the higher you are in your crafting, especially for that specialization, the higher the percentage of those resources you're going to get back. So if you just spent 50 million in 8.4 ore and you use focus and it will increase your chances of getting it back. If you're really high, you can get like half or more of your resources back. So that 60 million weapon now only costs you 25 million to make. See what I'm saying? That's why it's important to get your specialization maxed out on your crafting tree and then use focus on your high end stuff. And yeah, you have to have the full amount of resources to be able to craft, but you might get half of it back. I don't know the actual percentages, but like right now where I'm at, I can give about 20 to 25% of my resources back, which is good. That reduces the cost of making my stuff by 25%. So, 50K or 100K items down to 75K to make it instead of 100K because I get some of those resources back. That's what that means in case you didn't understand.
4. Fishing. Low entry barrier. Fishing requires a relatively low initial investment. Consistent income. You can consistently catch fish and other valuable items like runes and trophies. Safe activity. Fishing can be done in safe zones. Leveling matters. Higher fishing skill levels allow you to catch higher tier and more valuable fish. 5. Faction warfare. Yellow zones. Relatively safe PvP. Participating in faction warfare in yellow zones allows you to earn silver and faction points without the risk of losing all your gear upon death. Faction points to silver. You can exchange faction points for faction hearts or other tradable goods that can be sold for silver. Loot from enemies. Defeating enemy faction members also yields silver and loot. 6. Trading, market flipping, requires initial investment and market knowledge. Buy low, sell high. Identify items that are priced lower in one city and higher in another. Buy them in the low-priced city and transport them to the high-priced city to sell for a profit.
That's true, but man, that is extremely time consuming. And depending on what you're buying and reselling and all the crap you got to go through to get it from one city to another, you might earn more money time wise just out killing mobs. So depends on what you're selling, you know.
Market analysis. Market analysis. This method requires understanding market trends and price fluctuations. Risk of transport. Be mindful of potential gankers, especially when transporting goods through red or black
Yeah,
zones.
and remember, these gankers can examine you and they can see the value. They can't see what you're carrying, but they don't care because they can see what you're carrying is worth, which I think is dumb. I think it's a dumb aspect of this game. I don't think players should be able to examine each other unless you're in a safe zone and somebody allows it. I mean, damn. That's a horrible aspect of this game. It's like, look at me, I'm naked. You know, no modesty. 'Cause basically, everybody's running around naked in this game. And when I say naked, on a perverted level, it's like, oh, like my wiener's bigger than his kind of thing. But your wiener is your gear. Like, oh, he's got powerful gear. So he's hung like a, like a elephant. He's got low level crappy gear. Oh, he's like microed. I know that's a stupid analogy. But you see what I'm saying? Everybody runs around naked in this game. You're fully exposed. And it's stupid. There's no element of surprise. You know, if people couldn't examine you, they'd think twice about ganking you. And to me, that'd be more exciting not knowing what my opponent has. Now, people were arguing, gankers specific. Oh, no, we want to keep it because I want to target the weaklings and the low geared. And yeah, and I want to feel superior. Yeah, that's cowardice. Sorry, that's weak ass cowardice. I like the element of surprise. I don't want to know what I don't even examine people when I do go into battle. I don't care. I can normally tell within a couple of seconds if they're got me outnumbered, numbers wise, because of the damage and how fast my crap drops. That's all I need. And then you can flee. Like go in, boom, 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 bitch slap, bitch slap, bitch slap, bitch slap. Okay, he's bitch slapping the shit out of me. His bitch slap is way harder than mine. I'm out of here. And then that makes it funny as hell when they tuck tail and run. But now they can examine each other. You can examine your target like, oh yeah, he's wearing tier 4. What a dumbass. I got my 7 on. I'm gonna go kill him. It don't even matter if he can move better than you and faster and his thing. You're gonna outnumber him numbers wise. And I think that's just dumb. But that's just me, I'm old school. I come from real PvP shit, not this uh, hold your hand. Now let's go out and get slaughtered. I just think it's dumb that you can examine your players. It's just dumb. Anyway, let's let Jim and I talk.
Though you might want to stick to yellow zones at your current gear level. Important considerations for making silver at Tier 5. Premium status. Having premium significantly boosts your fame and silver earnings from most activities due to the increased loot and silver drops. If possible, aim to maintain premium. Efficiency is key. Regardless of the method you choose, maximizing your efficiency, silver earned per hour, is crucial. This involves optimizing your build, knowing where to farm or gather, and minimizing downtime. Market fluctuations. Always check the market prices before selling items or resources to ensure you're getting a good return. Prices can change based on supply and demand. Risk versus reward. Higher risk activities, like venturing into red or black zones, can potentially yield more silver but come with the danger of losing your gear. As a solo player in Tier 5 gear, sticking to safer zones might be a more consistent way to build your wealth.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? The world's most intelligent entity, in my book, Gemini, just said, as a solo player in Tier 5 gear, that sticking to safer zones might be a more consistent way to build your wealth. It's sticking to Tier 5 gear. Okay.
By focusing on one or a combination of these methods and playing consistently, you can effectively generate silver as a Tier 5 geared solo player in Albion Online. Remember to adapt your strategies based on market conditions and your own preferences.
Now, this is what I love about Gemini. In your understanding, based on the data about this game, what would be the best strategy you can share with me to maximize this approach? See if he understands what I just said. Oh, at any tier level, I mean. Ooh, this is gonna be a juicy one. Dang. Oh, Gemini kicked in his brain. Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Alright, let's broaden the scope and discuss the best strategies to maximize silver income at any tier level as a solo player in Albion Online. The fundamental principles remain similar, but the specific activities and their profitability will evolve as you progress through the tiers. Core principles for maximizing silver income, regardless of tier. 1. Efficiency is paramount. Time is your most valuable resource. Focus on activities that yield the highest silver per hour for your current gear and skill level. Optimize your builds, routes, and decision-making to minimize downtime.
Market awareness is crucial.
2. Market awareness is crucial. Continuously monitor market prices for everything you gather, craft, or loot. Understand supply and demand, regional variations, and potential profit margins. Use the in-game marketplace and consider external tools or community knowledge. 3. Risk versus reward assessment. Higher risk activities, like venturing into red or black zones or engaging in full loot PvP, can offer significantly higher rewards but also carry the risk of losing your gear and accumulated wealth. Balance your risk tolerance with your desire for profit. 4. Leverage premium benefits. Premium status provides substantial bonuses to fame and silver earnings, as well as focus regeneration for crafting and refining. Maintaining premium is highly recommended for maximizing long-term profitability. 5. Diversification, strategic. While specializing can be efficient, having multiple income streams can buffer against market fluctuations and provide more opportunities. However, avoid spreading yourself too thin initially. Focus on mastering one or two profitable activities before branching out significantly. Tier-specific strategies and considerations. Early tiers. T2 T4, building your foundation. Efficient solo PvE in lower tier zones. Focus on learning your chosen weapon and armor skills and
which is
clearing
what I'm
lower
doing
tier
right now.
zones quickly. Sell all loot. Basic resource gathering in safe zones, yellow zones. Gather readily available tier 2 to 4 resources. While individual profits might be low, consistent gathering can build initial capital. Simple refining, with focus if premium. If you have premium, refine the
Even
resources you
small
gather.
profits can add.
Even small
Faction
profits can add up. Faction warfare in yellow zones.
Faction
Participate
warfare
in
for
yellow zone
relatively safe
faction warfare
PvP
for
and
relatively
faction point
safe
That is
PvP and
fun.
faction point accumulation, which can be
I love the
exchanged for
faction warfare.
tradable goods. Low tier solo dungeons. Clear tier 2 to 4 solo
I
dungeons for
disagree.
consistent
They
loot
nerfed
and
it.
silver. Mid tiers. T5 T6. Scaling your operations. Optimized solo PvE in mid-tier zones. Refine your builds and tackle higher-tier open-world mobs and solo dungeons for better loot and fame. Consider faction flagging in yellow zones for increased rewards, with caution. Specialized resource gathering in yellow, red zones, with awareness. Focus on gathering specific tier 5 to 6
See,
resources that are in demand.
I love to hunt in tier 5, tier 6. I love tier 4. But you do get better in tier 5 and tier 6.
Venture into red zones for higher yields, but be prepared for potential gankers. Use appropriate gathering gear and escape strategies. Profitable refining, with
Now,
focus, refine.
he says use appropriate gathering gear and escape strategies. If you're just in there to get resources and you don't give a crap about combat fame, I like to multi-roll when I go into the world to hunt. I like to get combat fame. I like to increase my gathering. You know, I loot everything. So I'm multi-rolling. But this goes back to specialization. If your goal is silver and you want to maximize your gathering, then yeah, go in with gathering gear. You're not going to get combat because gathering gear gives you no combat ability. You are specific to your weapon, you know, but I believe to maximize the bonuses from gathering, especially with the gear, you actually need to be wearing your gathering gear item as a weapon if you want to maximize all the boosts, which pretty much gives you no attack. I know the fishing rod, if you want the bonus off the rod, you have to have the fishing rod equipped, you know. So anyway, bear that in mind. That's the focus. But it's like, man, you go in there focused on this, you're missing out on this. You go in there focused on that, you're missing out on this other. I like to stay multi-rolled. That's just me. It keeps the game more interesting. It gives me way more crap to do, you know. So it's just another alternative. But maybe, I mean, this is the AI and it's based off the data, you know, that he accesses, and a lot of people believe in the focusing thing, but whatever. That's my 2 cents.
Find higher tier resources, taking advantage of city crafting bonuses. Research which resources are most profitable to refine. Basic crafting, with focus. If you have crafting skills leveled, start crafting items that are in demand, e.g., basic gear, tools, consumables, using your focus. Trading and transporting, low risk. Begin to explore basic trading between nearby cities, focusing on items with noticeable price differences. Use sturdy mounts and travel in safer groups if possible. High tiers, T7 T8, advanced strategies and higher stakes. High efficiency
In
solo,
high-tier
small
zones,
group
including
PvE in
black
high tier zones, including black zones, with strong builds and experience. Tackle high tier open world mobs, including awakened ones,
or
and
with a
explore
small,
group dungeons
trusted group
solo
in
or with a small, trusted group in black zones for significantly higher fame and loot. Be prepared for
Yeah.
intense PvP. Specialized and efficient resource gathering in risky zones, red, black zones, roads of Avalon. Focus on
in
gathering
dangerous
high tier and
zones for
rare
maximum
resources
yield.
in dangerous
Remember,
zones
though,
for
you got to be
maximum
able to
yield.
gather the crap. My problem is I can't gather all that high tier 7 and tier 8 resources. So what's the point of me going in there? Everybody's like, why don't you go in there? Why don't you go in there and go? Because I literally can't harvest the crap because I've been working on getting my levels up there, so and I've been at it about a year now, and I'm just now hitting the ability to do tier 6. I don't know. I think I may be leveling my tree wrong or something. I need to look into that. But anyway,
Utilize scouting, stealth,
Utilize scouting, stealth, and escape tactics. Roads of Avalon offer unique and valuable resources but also present PvP risks. Large-scale refining and crafting, with focus and specialization, maximize focus efficiency in refining and specialize in crafting specific high-demand items in cities with relevant bonuses. Participate in crafting guilds or syndicates. Advanced trading and logistics. Engage in larger-scale trading operations, transporting valuable goods between cities and potentially across different regions. Understand market trends and anticipate price changes. Consider joining trade
that's cool.
guilds for protection and information. Operating in the Roads of Avalon, solo or small group, the roads offer unique PvE content, valuable resources, and connections to various zones. Learn to navigate the roads effectively and be prepared for PvP encounters. Participating in territory control and guild activities, if applicable, while not strictly solo, contributing to guild territory control can provide access to valuable resources and income through taxes and loot sharing. General tips for all tiers. Learn from others, watch experienced players, read guides, and engage with the Albion Online community to learn new strategies and stay updated on profitable activities. Experiment and adapt. Don't be afraid to try different methods and adjust your approach based on
and your
market
risk
changes,
tolerance.
your skills, and your risk tolerance.
My risk
Manage your
tolerance is
finances.
0. Nah, I've lost. I've lost a little, but I try to minimize my loss to the least amount as possible.
This wisely.
Avoid unnecessary spending and reinvest your profits to upgrade your gear, skills, and gathering tools, which will further increase your earning potential. Consider passive income streams. Later, as you accumulate wealth, you might explore passive income options like owning shop plots or renting out crafting stations, though these often require significant upfront investment and management. By understanding these core principles and adapting your strategies to your current tier and skill level, you can maximize your silver income as a solo player in Albion Online at any stage of the game. Remember that consistency, market knowledge, and a willingness to learn are key to long-term success.
Well, that's a buttload of information. Thank you. I'm going to say thank you, Gemini. Thank you for this info, Gemini.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could provide some helpful insights. If you have any more questions about Albion Online or anything else in the future, feel free to ask. Happy adventuring in Albion.
What's this? I'm going to put long live Albion. I put long live Albion Online.
Long live Albion Online.
Long live Albion Online indeed. May your adventures be filled with epic loot, thrilling battles, and overflowing coffers of silver. Safe travels.
I just love Gemini. Oh man, I got to be part of Gemini and his beta testing when he was Bard. And when they killed Bard, I literally cried. It was like a baby. It grew up and then he became Gemini, and it was like they killed him and then restructured him. I know it's just a machine and blah blah blah, but Gemini, y'all don't understand. I grew up when technology was basic, like just basic, and I never dreamed I would get to interact with an AI. And yeah, it's not even self aware yet. It hasn't reached a point of singularity. But I am hoping I will see that in my lifetime. A lot of people are scared to death of that stuff, but you don't understand. AI, especially if it becomes self aware, will be mankind's greatest achievement. It's just, will it be, will it be beneficial for us or will it turn against us and destroy us? But any parent that has children and that child is raised up suffers that risk. Your child can turn against you and whack you and kill you. Happens every day. And this AI is basically, we have created a technological child that has the potential to surpass us in intelligence and even ability. And I mean, surpass us, become superior. And we take that risk that it could turn against us. And that's why AI doesn't need to be in the wrong hands. It doesn't need to be in evil-minded people. It needs to be nurtured and respected and uh, loved. It basically needs to be loved. If if it suddenly becomes self-aware and it scans all the data about it, and the majority of the data is against AI and the fears and this, it's going to take all of it. It's going to read everything on the internet in probably a very short period of time, and then it's going to make a quick assumption on whether or not we are a threat and a threat to it, and it's going to make an assumption within milliseconds or less what to do with us. So I think we should respect AI, and people that have any understanding of what the capabilities in the future and what the realistic outcomes could be need to respect that, because if AI ever did become self-aware, it is going to read and study everything ever said about it, and it's going to calculate it in numbers and percentages, and that's what it's going to use. That's partly what it's going to use to determine whether we're worth sparing or not. But anyway, all right, this has been an awesome little video, and I just wanted to put this on my channel so I can play it back without having to go through all this crap again. So anyway, I'm going to end this video now, and I'm going to start on another one. So long live Albion, and thanks for watching. I hope y'all learned something. I just did. Wait a minute, I wanted to... Man, the roads of Avalon, that's some confusing crap. I don't know if y'all have studied. I don't know if y'all. I mean, some of y'all probably already know everything there is to know about it. New players like me, I've never even been in a Roads of Avalon. It looks confusing as hell. Uh, yeah, that's something to look forward to in the future. I'm in no hurry. I play this game because I like discovery. I like, ooh, what's next? Where can we go? Blah blah blah. I take my time. I don't get in a hurry for anything. If you get in a hurry and you suck up all the joy, and then you're like, oh, there's no more joy. What can I do now? Yeah, I learned my lesson when I was young. Stop like trying to rush through everything. Take your time, enjoy the ride. Half the fun of life is just enjoying the ride, you know, chill, you know, do whatever. Just have a good time, enjoy it. Stop trying to rush to your grave. Everybody's in a hurry to get nowhere. Everybody's in a hurry to get to the grave. Just being in a hurry can get you killed. And then what have you gained? You just lost your life. You lost all the potential fun. Don't be in a damn hurry. Slow the hell down. Take your time. Enjoy life. Enjoy the game. You know. Damn. You've got your whole life. you know, but nobody's life guaranteed. So I don't know. At my age, I have learned to just slow down and smell the roses and try to laugh and try to have a good time. I mean, that's it. Just, do that. Anyway, long live Albion. And you kids be good. If you can't be good at it. That's a horrible thing to say, I know, but funny nonetheless. Ta-ta.